This is something that, and I'm pivoting to a new topic here, I don't think was one of the proposals that the league announced in advance. And they do have a history of doing that, slipping something through that wasn't shared with the media. They have passed a proposal to allow the replay assistant to fix objective mistakes on roughing the passer and intentional grounding. And they're insisting it's purely objective. For example, if the foul is that a quarterback took a forcible blow to the head and video shows that there was no blow to the head at all, then they're going to pick up the flag.
Yeah.
Now, forcible versus not forcible is subjective. So it's got to be that the video shows he didn't even touch his head.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right. Right, like
And,
the old
for intentional
video.
grounding.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
And intentional grounding, the guy clearly was not out of the pocket. Now, I don't know how objective it is if a guy's in or out of the pocket because it's not like there's clear lines as to where the pocket ends. So it's got to be – I just think this is something that is going to be potentially problematic, and I'm not sure that they disclosed it ahead of time. And this is one of those that they probably didn't want to disclose ahead of time because people would have asked a lot of questions that they just didn't want to answer.
Yeah, well, hopefully this one's not as clunky maybe as the other one. Again, at least it's the official assistant replay person. You hope that they can keep the game moving this way, right? I do think there's been a number of we gave the quarterback the benefit of the doubt of throwing the ball away, and then we watch back on Skycam or whatever on the replay and go, well, I mean, I know there's not a line drawn on the field, but I see the right tackle lined up on the hash here, and the quarterback did not go outside the hash. In fact, he's 2 yards inside of it, and they let him throw it away, and that should have been intentional grounding. So hopefully those are things where, hey, it's pretty obvious, whatever, boom, moving on. Right? I like that. The other one, which we were talking about, what's the other? The roughing the passer. I also like that as well. Again, I'm with you. I don't, if it's close, they're going to let it be. But, like, if we have an instance like, what was that, the 2018 AFC Championship game, right? A big third down. They called roughing on Brady. We watched the replay back 5 times, and it never even came close to his head. He got hit on the shoulder, and they got a first down in a big moment because of that. Yeah, I don't want to see that. So, those are things that, hey, there's defenders. You got one thing. Maybe they'll be less, bull crap. What's my phrase for roughing the passer? Nothing the passers this year.
Nothing the passer.
Right.
How could you forget it? You're the one that came up with it. Okay.
I know.
Here's the thing that, and I just fired off an email to Brian McCarthy, the chief NFL spokesman, to find out, was this a proposal? Was it subject to a vote? How did this even come to be? Because it wasn't disclosed last week to the media as part of the pre-league meetings. Here's all the stuff we're going to be taking up. We didn't know they were taking this up as of last week. Unless I'm forgetting something, which is entirely possible.
I don't remember hearing
We didn't know
right.
This was going to be on the agenda. It's the first time the replay assistant will have powers that fall beyond the scope of a replay review.
Right.
Because this stuff, roughing the passer, is not subject to replay review. Intentional grounding, I don't believe is subject to replay review. The objective elements of, did the ball make it past the line of scrimmage? Maybe it is, but the roughing the passer definitely is not something that is subject to replay review. So you can't throw a red challenge flag and say, he didn't touch his head.
Right.
But the replay assistant has that 30-second window within which to determine objectively the head wasn't touched. And look, I'm not complaining because they're inching their way toward full-blown sky judge, and let's fix these rulings on the field. They're giving me what I want, but they're giving it to me one little kernel at a time. And I think this is part of their way. You know how, like, you ease yourself into a hot bathtub?
Right.
Like, you don't just jump in. You ease your way in. They are easing their way into this hot bathtub of Sky Judge. That's what they're doing. So I can't really complain about the approach, but let's just hope that it works. And I'm all in favor, and I'm always behind the idea of getting the calls right. Whatever it takes to get the calls right. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.